Okay, so we've got our F here giving us a root position 5 chord, which is a quite strong dominant, but we'll find a way to weaken it before we go back to 1. We don't have a lot of options on bass notes for the 5 chords. We either have to have F or we can have. We do have a few options for bass notes in our dominant chord, and we could change note on the next beat. But if we go down, say, to an A here, then that's going to have to resolve up to a B flat in the next measure because it's a leading tone, and that would create direct octaves with the soprano voice. See how that would look right there. Do you see the direct octaves there? A to B flat and F up to B flat. So we can't do that. I don't want to go from a 5 chord to a 7/6 chord. That would make nicer counterpoint, but the 7/6 chord is a weaker dominant than the root position 5 chord is, so I don't really want to go from 5 to 7/6. So what I'm going to do is find a way to weaken the arrival into measure 3 a different way. I'm going to keep the root position 5 here, and we are going to make that bass note a D. So we're going to go from 5 chord, root position 5 on both of those notes, to 1/6 in the next measure. So let's play this little bit of what we have. We'll just hear our outer voices. Okay, so when the bass comes down to that D, we can tell it's not a strong cadence, that we're still in the middle of a phrase. Now what we can do is, since the soprano is moving from B flat up to D, we can do a little voice exchange if we want to get some more motion into the bass line, and put B flat there. So we see this kind of classic voice exchange we have as the soprano goes do to mi, the bass is going mi to do. So mi, do. And now we're coming to the first cadence, and here we do want a root position dominant, or I'm deciding that we want to have one here just to make it a strong cadence. So I'm going to put a low F here and make this a 5 chord. And let's listen to our outer voices. Okay, that's fine. Let's go on to the next phrase. These notes seem to be outlining 5/7 chord. We've already decided that. But let's make some bass motion happen here. And we can do that by going back and forth between the 5 and the 5/6 chord. So let's give ourselves an F, that's what I wanted, F, A, F. This is all expressing 5/7, so we'll put, mark this as 5/7. Oh, I just realized we don't have an inverted 5/7 chord in Unit 8. We're not able to do that until Unit 9, which also happens this week. But we're going to stick with the chords we have, so I don't want to have a disappearing 7th. So we're going to just change our background harmony here to simply 5. Take the E flat out of the first 2 beats and bring it back on the 3rd beat, where bring it back in the third beat where the melody has the E flat in it already. So we have to have 5/7 there. Is this clear what I'm doing? Moving all these things around. We're going to go from 5 and then just to create a little bit of counterpoint and a little bit of movement, we've gone from F up to the A, which makes this 5/6 chord. And then because of the E flat there, we have to use a 5/7 chord, and that can resolve to one chord. And here, oh, we recognize this pattern, right? Mi, re, do. So when we have that, it's always handy to just try doing another voice exchange. Do, re, mi. So 1, 7, 6 to 1, 6. Let's put those notes in. We know what those are. We've done this many times, right? And we'll put our analysis in. 1, 2, 7, 6 to 1, 6. And you see how what we've done here is with the idea of the one harmony for the entire measure in the background, we've written an actual bass line that gives us an expansion of 1 to 7, 6 to 1, 6, which really represents a sustaining or a prolonging of the one harmony through that measure. And then we can end with just a good old, very cadential 5, 1, as the last two notes are T, Do, and that is simple. So let's put that there, and then that 1 preceded by 5. So what we have, hopefully, is various ways of weakening cadential sounds or weakening arrivals on 1 through stepwise motion in the bass and inverting the 1 chord until we get to the strong root position 5 for our first cadence. Then in the next 4-bar phrase, we use some inversions to get motion in the bass line, a little bit more stepwise bass motion, and a very strong 5 to 1 falling fifth bass movement to finish the excerpt. So here's how the outer voices sound. Yeah, that's fine. The only part I don't like is right here. I think that F sounds a little bit clunky, but I don't really know a way to get out of using it. Does this sound any better? I don't know. It does weaken the arrival in measure 2, which is what I wanted. But then that leap of a sixth up to the F there is perhaps a little bit awkward. Yeah. All right, well, that's a judgment call, but this fulfills what we wanted to do.